If you enjoy scenic drives, the Black Hills of South Dakota is an excellent vacation destination. Two of the must-drive routes is the Iron Mountain Road and Needles Highway. Needles Highway is located within Custer State Park, and this, the Needles Eye Tunnel, is one of the highlights of the 14-mile scenic highway. And when it was my turn, I retracted my side mirrors and cautiously entered and hoped I would not damage my truck. On Iron Mountain Road, this would be the way to go back up to Keystone after taking Needles. And you would want to do the counterclockwise drive on that, because as you come out on Iron Mountain Road, you go through a tunnel, and at the end of the tunnel you look out and you see Mount Rushmore. Of course, Mount Rushmore is the reason most people probably make their way to the Black Hills, and bringing tourists to this area is the reason the carving on Mount Rushmore was first conceived in the 1920s. I got here a little after 8 o'clock, and the crowd is not too bad, but I guarantee you about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, it will be busy. While at Mount Rushmore, I toured the visitor center, hiked the short presidential trail, and listened to the park ranger presentation. It was interesting to learn that there is a chamber behind Lincoln's head. The sculptor envisioned a grand 800-foot long staircase leading up to this chamber that would house the records of what our people aspired to and what they accomplished, and most importantly, why the carving exists in the first place. Not for the present generations, but for the future civilizations thousands of years in the future. According to the sculptor, you might as well drop a letter into the world's postal service without an address or signature as to send that carved mountain into history without identification. While the four faces are recognizable today, Borglum thought they might one day become as mysterious as Stonehenge. However, Congress did not see this chamber as part of the approved project, and the work ceased. And with Borglum's death in March of 1941, his son Lincoln assumed the lead sculptor role and completed Mount Rushmore 7 months later. The town of Keystone is just a few miles from the entrance to Mount Rushmore, and this wood carving business caught my attention. But I didn't buy anything. Just down the road from Mount Rushmore is another famous carving which is still being carved today and will probably continue to be carved for a very long time in the future. The sculptor Korczak Zalkowski worked briefly at Mount Rushmore, and after gaining fame when one of his sculptures won first prize at the 1939 New York World's Fair, Chief Henry Standing Bear wrote a letter to him stating, "My fellow chiefs and I would like the white man to know the red man has great heroes too." The first blast on this carving occurred in 1948.
Wichapio hitahawia hemayet start chifigo imachapio washichimechaje kushto. So, can I go ahead and have you all take a guess at what Native American language you think I just spoke? And just to give you guys a clue, I am a local. I am from this area here. I call it the Paha Sapa, Black Hills home. You guys have a guess at what native language that was? It was the Lakota language. Can I have you guys say Lakota?
They were French trappers and traders, and they were up by Lake Winnipeg. They asked the Minnewankatans, "Where are you guys getting all these really good beaver pelts from?" Because they were 10 times better than anything that their people were trapping around the Great Lakes. But the beaver that are on the prairie have thicker coats and they're bigger. They're bigger beavers. And so they're thicker, they're bigger, and so they were way better than anything they were trapping with the around the Great Lakes. And so they asked them, "Where are you guys getting them from?" And that's where the first mention of us comes from. They said, "We get them from the Tetons. They're out to the west, they live on the prairies. They live only for the hunt." That's the only thing we wanted to do, all the way up until the forces onto the reservations.
In 1974, work started for a housing development in Hot Springs, South Dakota, when a tusk was discovered along with other bones. The landowner, Phil Anderson, decided to halt the housing project until they had a better handle on what was there, and when the short excavation discovered an unprecedented number of specimens, Mr. Anderson realized this land would be more valuable as a resource for scientific study rather than a housing development. And today, it is still an active dig site, which boasts the largest concentration of mammoth remains in the world. Most of the fossils are of the North American Columbian mammoth. 58 of those have been found. However, evidence of 3 woolly mammoths have also been discovered here, making this an east meets west mammoth gathering, the first time both species have been found together. Fossils of other Ice Age animals have also been found at this site. Today is a first for me in that I am hooking up at Ellsworth Air Force Base, where I still have about 4 or 5 more days of camping here. But I am hooking up and heading west to avoid a storm. 2 days ago, we had a pretty bad storm that came through. It was at least 50-mile-per-hour winds, and it was dropping pea-sized hail, which made me absolutely sick to hear it hitting the airstream. But it didn't cause any damage. It just bounced off. It was very small hail, but it was a very strong storm. And yesterday was nice, and today is starting out nice. But they've been doing warnings the last 2 days on TV that today, which is Thursday, is going to be a very severe day of bad weather. And it will start picking up in the evening time. The storm that happened 2 days ago occurred at 9 o'clock at night. But today, they are forecasting more hail, but not just pea-sized hail, golf ball-sized hail, and possibly even larger. So I am heading west. I'm gonna head west for probably about 100 to 150 miles. That'll get me outside of the danger zone. And tomorrow morning, I'll come back here, and the rest of my time in Rapid City, South Dakota should be nice. The weather is forecast to be very nice weather. So we just got to get through this bad day, and hopefully none of the people that are staying at this campsite, hopefully they don't see the hail. But for me, it's worth the cost of fuel to go west and get myself outside of the danger zone here with the high risk of hail, and not just little hail, but damaging hail. So, all right, I'm all hooked up. The monitor's only been on for less than a minute, so it's cycling through, checking all the temps and the PSI. Anyway, it's 6:57, and I'm out of here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have not already subscribed, then please do so. Give a thumbs up and tell a friend.